I want to talk very quickly about a quote that I shared on my stories this morning by Edith Eger. Now, Edith Eger, if you don't know who she is the author of a book called The Choice. She has another book as well, which I can't remember the name, but she was a Holocaust survivor who later became a psychologist and later life. Her story is amazing. I would highly recommend that book, The Choice. Anyway, she says a quote that she gave in an interview she did is that you're the most obnoxious person you come across is going to be your greatest teacher. And I want to talk on that a bit because in the last week or so, I've talked to quite a few people around how to deal with when they feel triggered. And one of the things I always say is that your trigger is trying to teach you something. Your trigger is pointing you to an area where there is some discomfort. And when I heard her say this statement, I thought this is exactly what I think. I'm completely aligned with that because although there are lots of people we're going to come across in our lives who are going to wind us up, they're going to be, and they're going to be people that are nasty, just nasty. They're going to be people that are not nasty, but they're having a bad time and they're going to take it out on you. You're going to meet all sorts of people. But the point is, really getting to that point of being able to not allow something that someone else says or something that someone else does as you go about your daily life, to not allow it to affect your mood so that you then become pissed off, then you're angry, then you feel depressed or you feel sad because someone said this to you and you cannot shake it off, and then that affects how you treat other people, and so the cycle continues. And one of the things I talk about with when I'm coaching is that the level of self-awareness that we need in order to maintain a peaceful life is huge, right? Because what it means is that as soon as someone says something that triggers us or we get irritated, the normal instinct is to attack the person or go on the defensive, right? Or to react without thinking. But what we have to do if we want to learn to be happy, if we want to learn to be at peace, if we want to learn to be content, if we want to learn to manage our lives well, is instead of reacting, which means you're not thinking, because reacting means you just do what comes to you, the first thing that comes to your mind. What you really want to do is sit back, think, be aware, question yourself, and then respond. A response is calculated. You've thought about it, you've decided what to do, whereas a reaction isn't. So if we want to have peace, as I was saying, you need to learn how to not let what other people do or say affect you. And that's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. And so what you have to do is every time you come across someone that is really annoying or is really obnoxious or you just don't like, which is fine. You don't have to like everyone, right? Every time you come across people like that, look at them as an opportunity to learn. Oh, you want to be patient? Well, try it when you meet this person that makes you feel very impatient. You want to be tolerant? Try it when you come across someone that is completely intolerant and is making you feel like, I cannot tolerate this. So these people that we meet that are difficult, that are toxic, that are negative, they can be challenging. And I'm not saying expose yourself unnecessarily to people like that, but I'm saying when you are going to come across them, whether you like it or not. And when you do, your response should not be an immediate reaction or you let your ego jump in. Your response should be, why am I triggered? What is this that is triggering me? Why am I feeling agitated? And why can't I let this go? Because I remember in the past, someone would do or say something, and even though I was aware, I had some level of awareness, but the problem was I wouldn't be able to shake my mood. That would affect me for, a long period. And I was like, why is this still affecting me? But what I have learned is that the ego is at play. So sometimes you have the ego saying, Why didn't you say something? Why did you let that person talk to you in that way? Blah, 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 blah. So you have that voice going on, yeah? But there are also other issues at play. There could be stuff from your childhood that you haven't dealt with. Maybe how people used to talk to you, or how you were brought up where you were not allowed to say what you thought. And therefore, you get agitated when that happens now. That is why your trigger is your teacher, because it's trying to wake you up and say, this is an area you need to explore. Why does this particular type of behavior agitate you? If you just come across someone that's very rude and you can just say, not my problem, and move on, that is a level of maturity that will make you very, very at peace with the world, right? Because you can basically not let these kind of people, affect your mood. But if every time someone is rude to you, or someone is disrespectful, or someone says something, you get agitated, then you take that mood with you and you carry it around for the whole day, and you say, oh, I had an awful day because that person did this, and this person is not my fault, it's their fault because they're nasty. You don't have that level of self-awareness that you need yet. And of course, we all have to work at it. And actually, it's not a static thing. You don't get to that point and be like, yeah, I'm self-aware, I can deal with anything. No, because there will always be things that will come to challenge you. That's how life is. So we are all in this process of learning, and we evolve, we grow. When we know better, we do better. When we don't know better, we try to learn. And then when we know better, we do better again. And so we're always in that cycle. Nobody knows it all. Nobody is super wise and is always calm or has it all figured out. But the first step is that level of awareness and that understanding that when I get triggered, something here, I need to examine this. Why am I being triggered here? I hope that helps.